Welcome back, Cat 5 class. We're going to go over another exciting video, problem 3-23. Okay, so here's the building. If you stand in front here looking in, you get the front view. If you go around the right side, you get the right side view. Come back to the front, and then you fly over the top, look straight down, and you'll get the top view. Okay, so let's take a look at the 3D model. Okay, so the author chose to make this the front view, right? You can make the argument, hey teacher, how about we, instead of the right side view, we make this the front view. If we go to the opposite side, we don't see that brown chamfer here on this side. But if we flip it 180, there it is on this side. So you can make the argument, hey, how about we make this the front view? This the top view. Come back to the front. And we'll make this the left side view. Instead of a right side, we can have a left side view. Okay, so, and either one will work, either going this way or the author went in this direction and call this the front view, side view, back to the front view, and top view. Okay, either one will work. All right, so let's go back. Okay, so we're going to stand in front of the building, look straight at the part or the building, and let's see what we can see from this perspective. So we can see the slot or elongated hole. So we're definitely going to need green center lines. We have a semicircle, green center lines. Now the ones out here are 90-degree arcs, the ones on the outside. So we have this cylindrical shape and also this one. Now, since it's not a full circle or semicircle, we don't need green center lines for these here. Okay, these are only 90-degree angle arcs. Okay, but we will need it for the yellow ones here. So these are semicircles, right? Half circles or semi-cylinders, right? So here we will need center lines for the inside. Okay, another thing is here from the front view, we can see this tan chamfer. And there's this green cutout that we can't not see from our front view. So we're going to have to take care of it with red hidden lines after we turn on our X-ray vision, right? All right, so let's go back. So let's take a look at the AutoCAD file. There it is. And once again, I've changed the colors so it's easier to see on this video. And I made the lines a little thicker for object lines, center lines, hidden lines. Okay, just for the video. All right, so let's go ahead and complete the front view. Okay, so if we go back, we have a solid line going across, right? So think of this as the first level, right? Imagine it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-story building, and this is the first story. Okay, so we need an object line going across. Now, even though the tan surface is sloping away from us, we're going to draw one straight solid line going across. Again, even though the tan surface is angling away from us. So this is a chamfer. Okay, it's going to look like a straight line, as you can see. All right, so let's take care of that visible object line, and then we'll do the vertical one. Okay, let's take care of that first. All right, so let's go to visible layer, line command, and we're going to go off of this vertex, right? Everything lines up. Okay, I'm going to turn on ortho. Right, it guarantees a horizontal or vertical unless it tries to snap to something. So you want to have object snap turned on. If it's blue, it's active. Okay, so let's keep going. And there's our object line. Right click, enter to exit. Now we need the vertical. There's a little vertical object line. So all we have to do is go to the top view. I roll the wheel, hold on to the wheel to pan. And we can see that it's coming from this chamfer, right? Okay, so we're going to draw a line from this vertex and come straight down, go straight down. And there it is. There's our chamfer. That's where it starts. And right-click enter to exit. Okay, so there's all the object lines. Okay, now let's do the center lines. Okay, so hold on to the wheel to pan, roll the wheel to zoom in and out. Don't press the wheel, just roll it to zoom in and out. Okay, so let's go to the green center layer. Okay, if you want to use the center mark, so in the last video I introduced you to the center mark. Let's go to the Annotate tab, and there's center mark. If for some reason you don't see the center lines panel, right click on any icon, go to Show Tabs, go to Panels, and there's the center lines panel. So if you don't see a check mark next to it, then that panel is turned off. If you want to turn it on, just click on it. It'll put a check mark and load the panels, the center lines panel. All right, so let's go to center mark. Click on the arc. There it is. Oh, and I can keep going. I don't have to click on it again. And click again. There it is. And hit escape to exit on the keyboard or enter. And there it is. Notice it extended itself on its own. Now, again, we can make the argument, hey, there's an arc there. Don't we have to extend the center lines beyond that arc? You don't have to, because once again, this is not a full circle. It's not a half circle. It's a quarter circle. And the reason that these corners are rounded off is to avoid having sharp corners. So if this is mating up to another part, you don't want sharp corners, and also to make it lighter in weight. Okay, so we can leave the center lines as they are. Let me hit escape. Or if you want to make them longer, it's up to you. You can click on it and use the arrows to make it longer. As you can see, it's trying to snap. So I should turn off snap when I adjust these center lines. I'm going to turn off object snap so I have more freedom to adjust. Yeah, so if you were to do this for both sides, escape, that's still acceptable. Okay, so you can do it to both sides or just leave it alone like the left side. Either one is acceptable. Okay, let me hit undo. Or I can hit Control Z to undo. Okay, there it is. Okay, so we took care of the green center lines. And once again, we use green center lines to measure. So the machinist needs to know the size of the slot from center to center. So in a later chapter, we'll be adding dimensions, measurements. All right, so, and once again, they need to know where the center is at, so they know where to drill through. Well, in this case, it's a slot, so they'll just be using a drill to remove this portion of the material. If it's aluminum, steel, wood. All right, so let's move on. So we need hidden lines for the cutout. Okay, so that green cutout, we need hidden lines. And we need it also for the inside sharp corners here. So we need to represent this pocket with there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corners, right? In this pocket. Okay, so let's go back to the front view. And once again, we cannot see that cutout. Sorry, I called it a pocket earlier. It's a cutout. Okay, so let's go on. A cutout goes all the way through. A pocket doesn't cut all the way through. All right, so let's go back. Okay, so we need to go to the top view. Okay, so we have a red hidden line from this corner. Okay, so let's do that. So let's go back to the Home tab. Home tab. Let's go with red hidden lines. Oh, my mistake. I didn't mean to turn it off. Select hidden lines. There it is. Okay, so we're going to use the line command. And the hidden line we're going to draw is going to take care of both of these corners. So we're going to take care of two corners in one shot. Okay, so we're going to go straight down from that vertex, go straight down. And again, there's that edge, that inside edge, and that cutout. Okay, right click enter. Okay, we took care of that. Okay, let's go on to the next vertex. So from this vertex, we're going to go straight down. You know, I'm going to go ahead and click on it so you see where it's coming from. It's a lot cleaner. There it is. Right click enter to exit, and we'll shorten it using the grips. There it is. Hit escape on the keyboard to deselect. And finally, zoom out a little bit. We need another hidden line. So the third hidden line we're going to draw is for this corner and this corner here. So let's go straight down. And there it is. Right click enter or enter on the keyboard. And now we can use our grips to make it to the correct length. Hit escape to deselect. Okay, and there it is. There's the front view, and that's it. Done with the front view. We can always look at the answer key, right? Let's go ahead and cheat. Just don't tell anybody. You have the answer key to these. Okay, so there it is. There's the front view. Okay, looks good. All right, now let's go to the top view. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and cheat and see. Okay, so there's the top view. I think we're missing the object line. These are the hidden lines for the slot in the front view. Okay, so this is the size of the slot or elongated hole and the center lines of each cylindrical shape in that slot. Okay, so if we go straight down back to the front view, you can see it. So the red hidden lines will be coming from the quadrant, left quadrant, right quadrant, and the axes of the slot. This slot obviously has two axes. All right, so let's go on to the 3D model. Okay, so if we look at it from the top, okay, so once again, we're missing the object line. I believe we're missing the object line, even though these are cylindrical in shape, right? They're tapering downward, or I should say rounding downward. From the top view, it's going to look straight. Okay, let's take a look at it from the top. So it's going to look straight, even though this is an arc going downward. It's going to look straight, so we're going to draw a straight visible object line. And we need to also represent the yellow slot using hidden lines at each quadrant, left quadrant, right quadrant. And then we need axes, right? So the center of the arc has an axis, and this one also on this side. Okay, so we got to draw that, looking at it from the top view. All right, so let's go ahead and take care of that. Roll the wheel. Okay, so we have that object line that goes all the way across, and we can just copy it from the side view. There it is, from here. Okay, so let's go to the visible layer. Visible layer. Use the line command, and we're going to take advantage of the side view and our yellow construction lines, in your case magenta. So I'll go from this point, go straight up. My mistake. Pick the wrong corner. Escape, escape, escape. Exit, exit. Do it again, line command. So we want this thickness, right? Thickness of this wall, this vertical wall. Hit the 45 and come across, and that's where the line is at, as you can see. It should be, it's supposed to line up. All three views are supposed to line up. The details, the features are supposed to line up. If they don't, something's wrong, right? Okay, and right click enter. Okay, so we can delete this portion. Delete it with the pencil eraser. And we can shorten this to the correct length using the grips. There it is. Okay, and hit escape to deselect. Okay, so there's the object line. Now we need to look at the slot. Okay, so you know what, might as well show you. I want to zoom into this area here. So I'm going to this third option here. Zoom Extends does a full-on, let's go ahead and show you extends, right? Let me zoom out. If you click on this one, it's like a zoom fit, right? If we go down to the second option, zoom window. Zoom window. Okay, so I'm going to left mouse click and hold. I want to zoom into this area up to the slot and click. Okay, that's what I want to concentrate on. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so we have red hidden lines from the quadrants of the slot. So let's go to the red hidden layer. Draw our red hidden lines at each quadrant. So the slot has a left quadrant, right? Go straight up. Then we'll come back and fix the length. Enter. Do the same thing on the opposite side. From the right quadrant, go straight up. And there it is. And right click enter. Okay, now we can shorten them to the correct length using the grips. Okay, and hit escape to deselect. And there's our red hidden lines. All right, so now we need our green center lines from each axis. There's 2 of them in the slot. Okay, so let's go to green center layer, line command, and from the center, I'm going to go ahead and click center and go straight up. Once again, you want to go slightly beyond and click, right click enter or hit enter. And let's repeat the command, hit the space bar to repeat the command. And from the center on the right part of the slot, go straight up, go slightly beyond, and right click enter. Okay, so now let me turn off the object snaps so I'm free to adjust those green center lines. Let me turn off object snap. And I will use the grips here to shorten it. Let's go to the next one. Again, use the grips and shorten and hit escape to exit. And there's our green center lines. They're not exactly the same length. Let me just go ahead and readjust this one and hit escape. Okay, close enough, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it's in the right place. Okay, make sure that they do line up with the slot. Okay, so that's it for the top view. Okay, let's go and cheat. Take a look at the top view once again. And there it is. We're done. We got our visible object line and the hidden lines with the green center lines for the slot. All right, so now let's go over to we're going to go over to the side view. Whoa, the side view has a lot, right? There's a lot of stuff missing in the side view. Okay, so before we go over to our AutoCAD and eDrawings file, we have the red hidden lines and center line representing the slot. Now in this case, we only drew one center line, and the reason is because they're going to overlap. So the axis here and the axis here on the side view, they overlap. So there's actually 2, but we only need to draw one, just they happen to be overlapping each other. And then the height of the slot, so we're going to go from the bottom quadrant to the top quadrant to create our red hidden lines representing the slot and its center axes. And then we have these red hidden lines that represent the pocket. Okay, or I should say, my mistake, the cutout. Okay, so this 5-sided cutout. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the 3D model. Oh, and by the way, we don't draw tangent lines, right? We don't draw these thin tangent lines. This is a flat surface that then transitions into a cylindrical surface. This is just the tangency area, and you won't be able to see it if I turn off the edges and just shade. That's what it should look like in real life. It's a smooth, flat surface, and then it rounds off. We don't see that seam in real life, right? We can guesstimate the location, but visually we don't see those tangent lines. And same thing with the slot. If I turn it back on with edges, we don't draw these, once again, tangent lines. All right, so let's go to the side view. There's the side view. Oh, and I forgot about the chamfer. So we do need an object line here for the chamfer. We'll take care of that first. The line for the chamfer. I think it's the only object line we're missing. And once again, we're going to use hidden lines and a center line to represent the axes of the slot. And then we need to represent the 5-sided cutout that we can't see from the side view. So we're going to represent it with hidden lines. And once again, we don't draw this tangent line. All right, so let's go back. Okay, so here is the side view. Let me roll the wheel. All right, let's take care of this chamfer first. Okay, so the chamfer, remember we came straight down to draw this visible object line. Now we're going to go from this side of the chamfer. Okay, so I'm going to do it the long way. Let's first go to the visible wide object layer. Use the line command. And from this corner of the vertex, I got to turn on object snap. There it is. It's blue. It's active. So from this vertex, we're going to go across, hit the 45, and come straight down. See how easy that is? Orthographic projections, right? And right-click Enter. We can now delete this one by hitting the delete button on the keyboard or using the pencil eraser icon. Either one will work. And I can now use the grips to shorten this to the correct length. And hit Escape to deselect. All right, so that was pretty straightforward. Okay, so now let's do the slot. Okay, let's do the green center line first. Okay, so line command. So the green center line is going to represent the axis for this side of the slot and for this one here too. Okay, so this will take care of 2 and 1. We'll do 2 of them in one shot. There it is. Click and then right click Enter. And now we can shorten it using the grips. Let me turn off object snap so I have more freedom on the length. There it is. I'm just guesstimating. There it is. Okay, so we got the green center line. Hit Escape to deselect. Now let's do the red hidden lines. Let's go to red hidden layer. Use line command. Go to the top quadrant of the slot. Turn on object snap. And go across. And again, we don't overextend red hidden lines. Right click Enter to exit. And let's use the object snap. My mistake, the grips to shorten it. And let's do the bottom one also. Here we go, the bottom quadrant. I'll just track it. There it is. And there's the slot. And right click Enter. So we took care of the slot, the chamfer. Now we need the pocket. My mistake, the cutout, right? The 5-sided cutout. All right, so we're gonna have red hidden lines coming from this corner, this vertex, and this one. So let's take care of that one first. Let me zoom out a little bit and keep zooming out. Let me double click to zoom fit. There it is. Okay, so we are in the red hidden layer. So let's use the line command. And from, again, this vertex or this one, right? It's gonna take care of both in one shot. Hit the 45, go straight down. And there's the first red hidden line. Right click Enter. Let's go to the next one, the next vertex. So red hidden line, once again. Let's go from this vertex. Click, go across, hit the 45, come straight down. Okay, and then right click Enter. And finally, another red hidden line. Go from this vertex, which will also take care of this one, right? 2 and 1. And hit the 45 and straight down. Okay, and then right click Enter. And there it is. We have our red hidden lines. Let's get rid of the evidence that we cheated. So let's select these 2, or I should say 3 hidden lines that we don't need. Use the pencil eraser to delete. And now we can shorten the other 3 to the correct length using the grips. All right, looks like we're done. Escape to deselect. Let me turn off the construction lines. This is optional. There it is. Clean it up. Okay, so if we take a look at the answer key. And it looks like we got everything. All the red hidden lines, green center lines. And once again, if you want to overextend your green center lines beyond the 90-degree arcs, it's okay. May actually look better, right? But you don't have to. All right, so took care of all the hidden lines. Let's just double check. Yep, everything looks good. Okay, so those of you that want to type in your name, let me double click on the wheel to do a zoom fit. Double click on text. Okay, then be patient. Left mouse click, highlight, and type in your name. You typically want to use capital letters for drawings. You want to use capital letters and not lowercase. And the reason is so that we don't get mixed up. Hey, is that an L? Is that an I? So we just go with capital letters. Click outside the text box to exit. And just like lines, if you just click on the text once, it has a grip. So you can move things around, right? Right now, ortho's on, so it's only allowing me to go horizontal or vertical, so I can turn off ortho. Now I can place it wherever I want, okay? Later on, I'll show you how to do a title block and border where you can type in your name, the units, etc., dates, supervisor's name, etc. Okay, so now some of you are like, wait, teacher, let me double click on the wheel. I cannot see the gaps, right? I cannot see the gaps, all right? So some of you probably remember, how do we change the spacing on the gaps? And it's LTS. Not as easy as 1, 2, 3. LTS. Don't you mess with me. And enter, right? There it is. Right now it's at 0.1. Let's try 0.01. 0, 1. Don't blink. And 3, 2, 1, enter. I made it worse. Okay, so I went in the wrong direction. So once again, LTS, enter. Let's go in the opposite direction. Let's try 1. Then 3, 2, 1, don't blink, enter. And that's a little better, right? Don't worry about LTS. If it doesn't look the way you wanted it to look, later on I'll show you how to change them individually. Okay, that looks pretty clean. All right. All right, so save your work. Let's go to File, Save As, and we'll put our initials or type in complete or completed and save. All right, class, that's it for this problem. I'll see you in the next video.